I love everything about Carbondale. I love Carbondale because, first of all, it's home. And what's very important to me is having a sense of being content and comfortable and safe and happy. And that's what Carbondale provides for me, because all the people that live here their whole lives or that move here fall right into the culture of wanting to be friends, wanting to be part of a community, and wanting to be part of what makes us so fantastic. I would say that when I graduated from college, I wanted to move away. I did everything I could to move to New York City, Philadelphia, someplace big. And from being in those places and realizing that you're not a part of anything and that you're a nobody in those places, and then coming home and finding out that this is where you're loved and accepted for who you are and who you're not, and that you're a part of the community and you make up the tapestry. So at that point, I started to apply for jobs here in Carbondale. And I applied for this job and I got this job. And as soon as I walked into the position, I was welcomed, I was nurtured, I was loved, and I was part of everybody at that point. One thing that we lack is our relatedness sometimes. People are afraid to become related with one another. But once you hook up that relationship, it's almost like magic. The things that come out of that, the things that happen from that, are incredible. You know, I have the ability to say, oh, somebody will tell me, I need this. And then I'm like, oh, I know so-and-so who does this. And then they connect up with one another. And then that just turns into a whole thing that you never even thought was possible. It goes beyond whatever you could imagine. Well, that's all we are, is very collaborative. If you think about it, you know, the city of Carbondale, when it was founded, you know, was mostly a coal town. And then you have people coming from all different sects of life, you know, the Italians, the Irish, the Welsh, the Germans, the people from Poland. They came here and they shared all of their lifestyles and their cultures. You know, I have a friend who just moved here and they call pierogies potato empanadas. You know? And so I think that that's great that they've taken their culture and mixed it with somebody else's culture to tell you what they're trying to explain. And that's what's great about us, is that everybody just wants to blend with one another and be a part of one another. Create a more consistent stream of communication. I think that's one of the things we lack, is the ability to be able to communicate with each other effectively and productively. You know, it's a different time in all of our lives. You know, it's 2022, but you know, when we meet each other with just a blank slate, telling each other what we need and what we want, at that point, then that breaks down the walls and we're able to be productive. There's not a formal mechanism. I think it's more of an informal mechanism. I would like to create more opportunities for us to meet on an informal level. That's why the city of Carbondale does so many quirky events. You know, we do a lot of quirky events here. We do, you know, a lighted Christmas parade. We do, you know, through the chamber, we do the tinsel trail in the park. And we do a lot of quirky, odd things to be able to have people meet each other on the level of what they're interested in. And we like that. You know, it's unique, it's different, and that's just like us. We're very unique and different. That's an initiative the city's been working on for a couple of years now. We did a good neighbor. We're doing a good neighbor program where we encourage you, like if you see somebody with their grass high, rather than ostracizing them and making them wrong, go over and knock on the door. Hey, you feeling okay? Do you need help? Do you need help with that? You know, come from a human perspective. You know, come from a perspective of kindness rather than make wrong. And that's what we try to promote. You know, here at the city, we get a lot of neighbors complaining about one another, but we tell them, you know, listen, put your guns down, go have a conversation with each other, and you might find a solution right in the middle somewhere. I think that we evolve so organically, and I know that sounds peculiar and uppity, but it's not. Like we actually evolve very organically all the time. You know, I've been here for 28 years, and what Carbondale was in 1994 is so much different than it was in 2000, than it is in 2022. I find that people, especially after the pandemic, realize how important the little things in life are, and how important like just having the fundamentals and the golden rule in place are. So I think that's gotten us to where we're at now, where people are actually opening themselves up, seeing the uniqueness of us, Because Carbondale is an old coal town, and people use this, they call us a phoenix. Like when the coal left, they reinvented themselves with something else. When this happened, that we reinvented ourselves as that. And I think that's where we're at right now. We're at the point of reinventing ourselves, and people finding that there's this little gym in northeastern Pennsylvania where you can go and live, in a little old town where people want to be your friends, and it's you walk up and down the streets and everybody's happy, and I think that's what people are realizing, is that's what we have here. It's kind of like having magic in a bottle. And my joke lately is that like we're a piece of coal that's been squeezed for so long that we're turning into a diamond. The next step in transformation is just our biggest downfall right now, like I said earlier, is communication, and working on the communication, working on the relatedness, working on letting people know what you want and what you're interested in and how you want us to move forward. I sit here in City Hall every day, and I respond to people immediately that call me one of our residents, because you know what? They are our people, and I want to know what they want, and I want to hear what they want, because they have much better ideas than I do. I tend to get very robotic, following rules and doing what we need to do. When you tell me what you need, then we can turn that into something great, because we have great partners. The Chamber of Commerce is a great partner because they like to have fun and they want to be on the front line and they want to make a difference. And let's face it, economics drive the community. So, that's a hand into that. And then we work with partners like the YMCA because, listen, our children are our future, plus they have so many programs for our adults, and we have an older population. We have phenomenal partners. So, and that's all it is seeing your strong partners working together. That's a catalyst for people to get involved, because somewhere along the line you're going to find what you want to do and what you want to get involved with. We need resident leaders. We have, it's awful. It's for myself, when I first got in this position, and I don't want to say job, because I love my job, and it's not a position where I think that you don't need to do anything all day long. But when I came to the city, I realized that, listen, to lead is to serve. And when you find people out on the street that want to serve, and not for their own betterment, but for the betterment of the community, and that's who people around here are. They just want to contribute to make a difference. If you look at things we do, I'm in awe at all times of how our community always steps forward. There's never a time that they haven't given up something so the community can be better. It happens, like, you can look at the YMCA, it's phenomenal. And that happened all during a recession. They built that. Look at St. Rose Church. It's $1 million project that they pulled off during the pandemic. Our community always steps forward, not just with money, but with their time and their talent. There's so many talented people here, and they want to give. They want to be a part of it, and they realize being a part of it means giving themselves. I want the next generation to know everything that I knew growing up. I woke up on Sunday mornings to go to Mass, and I'd smell the neighbor making sauce, and being invited over to your other neighbors for dessert on a Sunday night, and I want them to know that rich history that they came from, and not to lose the culture and the traditions and the greatness inside of that. I'm very old-fashioned myself. Let's go to grandma's house after dinner so that we can sit and watch Jeopardy. I don't want them to lose that. I want them to see that. Playing, going back to the park to watch Little League baseball games, and coming down to listen to some bands in the park. I don't want them to lose. I want them to be a part of that, and I want them to know that so that they can carry it forward with their own twist on it. Because I know 1861 no longer exists, but 2023 is coming, and I want them to put their twist on that coming so that they can forge forward the way they want it to look. Because I say it all the time, these guys the younger generation knows so much more than we do, and by just listening to them and letting them pull us along with them so that it's a partnership, it's actually exciting. Just to be a part of wherever they're at. We still call my neighbors, who are no relation to us, Aunt Mary and Aunt Helen and Uncle Bob. We still call them that, and I like that. And people say, how are you related? We're only related through being each other's neighbor. Right. But I find that to be your family. I think we're right now in the midst of it. You see a lot of economic growth coming in our direction, and I think that it's 2022. The jobs that are offered right now weren't even on the radar back when I was younger. So listening to what generates economics for that generation, working around that, developing that, and keeping them here with like a great way of life. You know, I know that, you know, there's lots of people that turn down huge jobs because they want a great quality of life. And we have the great quality of life down pat. We just need the economics to come here so they can stay gainfully employed. I love Carbondale. And I love our people. You know, I think that's the reason I love Carbondale, is because of everybody's got a different personality, everybody's got something different to offer, and I'm never bored. They always are fantastic, and they're always willing to step forward and be a part of the fun.